This is Jazz, and I'm the founder of the Secret Society of Living Goddesses, which I just announced yesterday. So I'm so still nerve-sided about this. Wanted to share this about you. And of course, behind me here is Maya, who's all tuckered out from a walk this morning. It's just so beautiful on the St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day to those of you who, like me, have Irish ancestors. And yeah, it's just so beautiful for this March 17th. Finally, a little bit milder again. So I hope you're enjoying this day. Today, I want to talk to you about a bit of my story and how I came to be here, being a spiritual teacher and ready finally to launch the Secret Society of Living Goddesses. So it was back in 1998. So I believe, back in February 1998, must have been my fourth year at university. It feels like a lifetime ago, honestly, and it still feels like yesterday, right? Time is not really linear when it's in the fifth dimension or the fourth dimension, right? So back then when I was in university, I started exploring a little bit further than my upbringing. So my upbringing was quite Catholic. And I knew that there was more that I wanted to explore, more that would nourish my soul than what I was learning in the Catholic tradition. So I went to a women's circle on Imbolc, so that is on February 2nd, and it's for Goddess Bridget. It was a circle of perhaps, I think we were 30 women around in the circle. Remember those days when you could meet and with 30 people in a circle? Looking forward to these days again, being heart to heart and hand in hand and intuition to intuition with other women. It's just so beautiful. Well, this was one of my first circles, so I was quite nervous about it. I didn't know what to expect. This was a pagan Wiccan circle, which was like, I was afraid because of my Catholic background. Like, what is going to happen to me in this Wiccan circle? Is the earth going to open and swallow me whole? There's so many fears and uncertainties that happen when it's the first time that you walk in a circle, right? But these women were so loving, so accepting, even if, I don't know, back in 1998, fourth year university, I was in my early 20s, right? So I was quite young compared to the other women um, who were probably my age now, right? In their 30s, 40s, and some in their 60s. And they just accepted me, even if I didn't have any background, even if I didn't have any training. They accepted me in their circle with so much love, with so much trust. And that is the way of the circle. You come into the circle with love and trust, and you allow the experience to unfold. So we were in this circle, calling in Goddess Bridget, going around the circle and saying, "What is your wish for today? What is your wish for today?" And so I stated my wish. And the thing is, typically in magic, in the pagan tradition, and in most goddess traditions anyway, when you make a wish, when you want to receive a gift from the divine, there's this notion that you leave something in return. So um, typically that's why in ancient days there was a lot of sacrifice, and there was this notion of sacrifice, that whether it was animals or in some societies was human, or it was grain or food, you let something there. Nowadays when you let something go, it's not that type of sacrifice that is being asked, right? It's a bad habit that you're letting go of. It's um, it's an old identity, a part of your ego that you're ready to let go. So you go a lot deeper in your psyche to release something on the altar of the goddess, right? Things I didn't know back then that I know now. So anyway, part of what I said that I was going to do in exchange for the gift received from the goddess was that I would teach other women the way of the goddess. Of course, being 20 something, being my maiden years, all new to this, I didn't know what the way of the goddess was. I just knew I was going to do it. I didn't know the first thing about living the way of the goddess. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what it entailed. One thing that I know for sure now, looking back, is that it set me in a certain course of learning that really was out of my comfort zone because I was used going to university and all, and with my, A plus best student awards, I'm used to learning in a way that's very intellectual. So I could read books, I would read encyclopedias, the days before Google, right? And would go in the library and read all the books and ask questions. So it was a very intellectual knowledge of the goddess. I know now that is not the way of the goddess. The goddess does not want to be known through your intellect. Your goddesses want to be known. They want to be experienced through your heart, through your life experience. And so for many years, I was quite frustrated that why is it that I can't teach a way of the goddess now? Like, I know so much about the goddesses. I know so much about mythology. I know so much. I know. And yet it never quite happened. Why was that? I just didn't have the life experience yet to embody the goddess fully. That's something that happens when we have that turn of the wheel and we're ready to walk into a more mature part of our spiritual life, right? Which I am now because I have life experience. I have lived through grief. I have lived through major surgeries. I have lived through my relationship with my husband with all the ups and downs that it entails. I have a life experience, and so now I can embody the goddess in a much different way that is not intellectual, but that is lived. And the other thing that I know for sure now that I didn't know then is that teaching the way of the goddess, living the way of the goddess, is fun. It's not about learning. It's not about studying for a test. It's not about cramming. It's about having fun. Spirit wants us to have fun. It wants us to enjoy life. It wants us to express our divinity in the best way possible, in all the ups and downs, in all the shadows, in all the glory. And it's okay to be everything because we are, as human, we have all this gamut of emotions. We have all of those experiences at our fingertips. And as a divine vessel, we're here to choose our various experiences. We're here to listen to stories and rewrite our own stories. So that's what we do in the Secret Society of Living Goddesses, and I'm inviting you to join me there. And it's to have fun. Honest to goddess. It's to have fun. So, but yet, as we're having fun, as we do some arts and craft, as we listen to stories, as we participate in stories, as we might dance, we might drum. Right now it's online and it's all individual, but we're coming together and sharing our experiences. So it might seem quite mundane in a way, right? But at the same time, it's so deep because the way of the goddess is also a way of self-reflection, of looking at the different flowers and noticing how that changes you. You look at nature and you see how nature changes you. You look at nature and you see how much you are part of nature. You look at other stories, other relationship, what's going on in other people's lives and how that affects you. So it's self-reflecting. It's like a breathe in, breathe out. You give, you receive, you give, you receive, and you're in this constant flow of giving and receiving. It's a constant flow of life, creation, recreation, destruction, starting over. You're in your mess, you're in your glory, you're in your everything, and that's beautiful. And it's just wonderful to be with a group of women who have the capacity to hold you and to accept you and to love you exactly for who you are. There's no pretenses. You don't have to put on a mask. You show up as you are and you're loved. I love you exactly that way. You don't have to pretend you're someone else. You don't have to pretend you're perfect. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'm a recovering perfectionist. I know what it's like to put on that mask and put on the trying to be perfect and please everyone. It's time to let that go. That's not what the goddess wants. The goddess wants you exactly the way you are in all your messiness, all of those experiences, because It nourishes your soul and it can nourish the soul of other people around you. You can be a beacon of light for others, and you can find the beacon of life for your own life as well. So this is a heart to heart to heart, soul to soul to soul circle that I invite you to step into. What it requires of you is your willingness. And even if you're not there yet, it's your willingness to be willing, to be willing, to be open and vulnerable and to share, even as introverts. I'm an introvert, might not look like it because I'm always doing these lives, but I'm totally an introvert. So I know it's difficult at times to reach out and to ask for comments and to comment on someone else's post and to ask for a connect. But we can learn. We can learn. And when you know that you're in a society that holds you and loves you exactly the way you are without judgment, it makes those connections a whole lot easier. So, in the Secret Society of Living Goddesses, we're going off Facebook. This is an app that is closed. It's members only. So there's no ads, no trolls, no weird people coming in and say, hey, if you want a free reading from this voodoo doctor. It's happened so much on this Facebook page. It's so annoying. There's none of that over in the Secret Society. So it's a Mighty Network site. I've tried that 2 years ago, wasn't quite ready yet. So we're trying it again now. The link is in the description. I invite you to join me. The circle is open now. We're officially getting started the first week of April. But if you join now, you do receive a goddess reading with me. That's a value of $397 that I'm gifting you just for joining the Secret Society of Living Goddesses today. So I hope you join me in this experience. It's kind of my lifetime. It's my heart, it's my soul, it's my promise to Goddess. This is what I'm meant to do in this lifetime. And I just want to share it with you. I want to invite you in the circle. I think you're going to love it, especially if you're creative, if you're artistic, if you're ready to heal, if you're ready to have fun and get out of your head and really truly embody your own wisdom. Because, of course, I'm not teaching you to be like me. I'm facilitating you to step into your own truth. And that's a whole different ball game. So I hope you'll join me. Follow the link. Join us in the Secret Society of Living Goddesses. Can't wait to welcome you inside the Sacred Circle. Until then, big, big hugs from my heart to yours.